What's up, everybody? I'm Matt Leinart, 2004 Heisman Trophy winner, and you're watching the Harris Highlight Show.
Na 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 na.
Oh, what, no applause? What award show starts with no applause from the audience?
Ladies and gentlemen, your host for
audience.
tonight's evening, please welcome Blake Hoherd Harris.
Oh, thank you. What an awful audience. I thought you would have like some sort of sound clip ready, or you'd have our other audience ready. All right, so our executive producer's already slacking on the executive producing duties tonight, but that's all right. Wow, nothing better to get me ready to do a monologue than...
And this is live.
Absolutely nothing from my audience, but that's completely okay.
Your audience isn't here.
Ah, that's unfortunate. We have our two interns in studio. It's the first show where we've had two interns. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 4th annual Harris Highlights Award Show. The 4th and final Harris Highlights Award Show because, you know, we're not going to be here in a year, so our final award show, the number one college football award show out there that is decided entirely by the fans. Now, guys, this was a great year, an absolute great year in college football. We saw some really good quarterbacks. We also saw some really bad ones. Let's take Auburn freshman quarterback Bo Nix, for example. Now, he completed 57% of his passes, averaged just one touchdown a game. Not too good of a stat line right there. Now, if I'm a receiver, guys, I don't know who I'd rather have me throwing the ball. Bo Nix or Jake Olson from USC? I don't know. Now, speaking of great years, it was a great year from Justin Fields of Ohio State, Heisman finalist, got his team to the playoff. Now, unfortunately, on the biggest stage of his life, he let his team down. That's okay, though, Justin. You let your team down in just one game, whereas Jim Harbaugh, he's been letting down an entire state for 5 years. All right, well, speaking about the big stage, let's talk about Trevor Lawrence in the national championship game.
Hey guys, thank you. We love you, man. Go Tigers.
Thanks. Trevor Lawrence looked really scared out there, guys. I mean, I don't know if it was just you or me. Guys, did he look scared out there in the second half?
Maybe.
I thought he looked scared out there. Yeah. He looked scared out there. Now, I haven't seen anyone look that uncomfortable since watching Lyle try to talk to a girl last week. It's like Akron and UMass from this season. L after L after L after L. Ooh. Speaking of disappointing, it was another disappointing season from the Miami Hurricanes this year. They finished the season under 500. They showed up every week just not prepared. Didn't do any prep, and it was obvious they didn't know what they were doing on a week-to-week basis. It was just obvious they didn't deserve to be there. Oh, wait, no, that was an error in my notes. Am I talking about Miami, or am I just talking about Brady showing up every week to do the show? Oh, I couldn't tell. Now, I just talked about Miami having a disappointing year, but we really need to talk about USC. 8 wins. 8 wins? That's it? Now, this is a team that was a powerhouse when I was a kid. A lot of people now, they put the blame on head coach Clay Helton. Now, Josh here actually might be one of the few USC fans out there that still believes in him. Is that true, Josh?
More or less.
Well, that's okay, because you two actually have something in common.
Oh.
Not being accepted by USC. Now, I love doing the show with you three. It's great. Now, Brady, he makes me feel better about my figure. Wow. Lyle, you make me feel better about my looks. And Josh, well, Josh, you have the voice of an angel.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Now, in a way, guys, we're like our own college football team, but consider me like the AD, and you guys are the players. It's like my team. We show up once a week, have fun, try to perform as best as we can, and just like in college, I make all the money, and you guys don't get paid.
All right, that was good.
I hate this show.
That was good.
I hate this
Now,
show.
we have a great show ahead for you guys. Lots of great categories, over 20 categories. Now, I haven't checked the final results quite yet, but last time I checked, there were 7 categories that were within 5%, meaning these votes went down to the final day. We had the record, guys, for the most votes ever. We reached over 19 million votes, a new personal record, 19 million votes. So well done. Shout out to all the fans out there that voted. But guys,
19 million?
19 million votes.
And Blake's mom were 18 of those.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
I don't believe you.
19 million votes subtracted by about 18,900 something thousand or so. It was a record though for most votes. We had 4 times the amount we had last year.
You know what? I will take it.
So we will take that. Now, guys, I think without further ado, we should get to the awards. What do you guys say? I'm going to lead us off, and then I'll text you guys, who the winners are in our little group chat. So pay attention to that, but I'll get started. Now, Brady, when I'm getting ready to read who the winner is, do you have a drum roll that's going to be ready for me?
I don't, but I can get one
Well,
pretty
that's all right,
quickly.
guys, because while Brady gets that up, let's go over our first award.
Do you
The
want me to
best
keep- do you want me to
quarterback.
keep this music rolling throughout?
Yes, we do.
All right.
I'm fine with that. The best quarterback of 2019. The nominees are... Actually, what do you guys think about the music?
I don't mind the music. It's up to you, though.
All right, we'll keep the music. We'll keep the
right.
music. And the nominees are Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, Anthony Gordon from Washington State, Jalen Hurts from Oklahoma, Justin Fields from Ohio State, and Joe Burrow from LSU. And the winner for best quarterback of 2019 is Joe Burrow. Wow. What a surprise, guys. Joe Burrow
Congratulations,
comes
Joseph.
in with 85% of the votes.
85?
85% of the votes, guys. But, I mean, I guess the only surprise is that 15% went towards other players.
Yeah, that's less than he got in the Heisman votes.
Yeah, and I think it's not that the different, I don't think the margin should have been that big, but I think it was just that he was, I don't want to say he was a little bit better than everyone because he was obviously really good, and he had a phenomenal year and one of the best years we've ever seen, but I don't think it's worth saying he was the best quarterback and obliterated everybody else. I just think that everybody knew he was the best. I think that was simply what it is, which is why we see such large margin.
He's simply the best. Better than all the rest.
Now coming in second place was Justin Fields with 8.5% of the vote. And then the rest of that was just nothing.
So pretty much the Heisman.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, Hurts came in second in the Heisman.
Yeah, but like the percentage wise.
All right, so we are going to move down the list. It looks like Josh is struggling to get up the... That's okay, Lyle. Do you have the list up ready with all the nominees?
I do.
All right, we'll throw it over to Lyle.
As long as we're doing best running back next.
We'll do best running back
go to
next.
Brady first, and then we can still go.
All right,
in
we'll
order.
go to Brady then.
Oh, cool.
How about that?
Haha, take that, Lyle.
Right
You're still the middle child.
Bum, 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 bum. All right, go ahead.
Thanks a lot, J. Cole. All right. So we had some great nominees this year for the best
You
running
don't
back
play
category.
this yet.
Listen,
Dude, let
Blake,
him have fun with
Okay,
it.
do you know-
okay.
you come control 3 or 4 different tabs on the computer
Maybe
while
I
you're
will.
doing this. The nominees for best running back are Chuba Hubbard from Oklahoma State, the Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, Travis Etienne from Clemson, J.K. Dobbins from the Ohio State, and Jarrett Patterson from Buffalo. And the winner of the 2020 Harris Howitz Award Best Running Back is... Thanks, Blake. I know how to work
Hey,
the
just
drum
wanted to
roll.
make sure.
Should I kid you on this one? No? JK, it's J.K. Dobbins. Haha. Name pun. J.K. Dobbins wins Best Running Back Award for the Harris Highlights
Now,
Show.
this was one of the closest ones, I'm going to guess, because J.K. Dobbins comes in with 36.6% of the vote. Jonathan Taylor comes in at 33.1% of the vote. So this is one of those ones that came down to the final day. I mean, you can make the case either one of these guys was deserving, but J.K. Dobbins just barely runs past Jonathan Taylor.
Good one.
A lot of good running backs. I mean, yeah, a lot of good running backs in college football this year. I mean, you could have made the case for Chuba Hubbard too, but I mean, yeah, J.K. really turned it on toward the end of the year. Not that he didn't have a good year altogether.
All right, Lyle, we're going to flip it to you now.
Best wide receiver of 2019. Man, this list is loaded. Best wide receiver of 2019. The nominees: Jerry Jeudy from the University of Alabama, CeeDee Lamb from Oklahoma, Jamar Chase from LSU, Justin Jefferson from LSU, and Michael Pittman from USC. And the winner of the best wide receiver of 2019 goes to
Mike. Unbiasedly, Mike.
Jamar Chase from LSU.
Oh, dang it!
Now this one, a bit of a runaway. Jamar Chase, he finishes with 54.5% of the vote. The next closest was CeeDee Lamb. I'm sorry, Josh, but Michael Pittman received only, it's in the orange. It's like little. He got barely any votes, but that's okay.
It was probably just me.
It was probably just Josh about 50 times, so that's okay.
I voted 3 times, and I voted for Mike twice. I just had to.
A really good receiving core this from this past season. Now Lyle's a huge fan of CeeDee Lamb, though, personally.
I am. Pretty good receiver that may or may not have cost me a college fantasy season, but
By 1 point.
yeah.
By 1 point, but yeah.
Well, more Lincoln Riley cost it,
Also,
but whatever.
that is true. Jamar Chase, what a great year. But just overall, I mean, the answer should have been just the entire LSU receiving core, just considering how dominant they were. But yeah, so Jamar Chase, congratulations on the award.
Almost 2,000 yards of receiving in a season.
I forgot, yeah, we should have put the awards in here as well. I know BK's got the award in there. The awards will be mailed out, estimated arrival time, 12 to 16 weeks, so be patient. Which brings us to the Best Tight End Award.
Okay, wait, are we passing out the awards or not yet?
Nah,
Okay, we'll get them for the
we're
next
mailing
round.
the awards because unfortunately,
No, we've got awards. We've got
all the
awards in there.
I think all the recipients couldn't be here tonight to receive them.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
I thought that this next guy was here. We'll see if he's in the crowd tonight.
All right, we'll see.
I'm here for the 4th year in a row. What's that? Oh, okay. So I need to hurry up. I'm here to present the Best Tight End of 2019 award. And the nominees are Adam Trotman from Dayton, Cole Kmet from Notre Dame, Harrison Bryant from the FAU, Hunter Bryant from UW. Hello, intern. Bryson Hopkins, please, thank you very much. Please don't show your face on my camera.
Thank you. That's a great award. Look at that.
Bryson Hopkins from Purdue is the last nominee. And the winner of the 2019 Harris Highlights Show Award for Best Tight End is Adam Trotman from Dayton.
Now, this was a bit of a surprising one, guys. I threw him in there. I know he's FCS, not FBS, but his numbers were too good to ignore. 70 catches, 900 yards, 14 touchdowns. What a year by him. Now, this was probably across the board one of the more evenly balanced finishes we got. So Trotman, he comes in getting just under 33% of the votes. Harrison Bryant, he gets 28% of the vote. And then we go down the list. Hopkins gets 15%. Cole Kmet gets 15%. Hunter Bryant gets 10%. So no real runaway. I feel like this might be the only award where the winner receives only 1/3% of the vote, but there's some really good tight ends on this list. Definitely probably one of the better tight end awards we've had in the last 4 years.
Where's your favorite tight end? Albert, how do you say his last name?
As a wise man once said, the hurts were brought and there was a big L, and I had a tight end whose last name no one knew how to spell.
You hit that line perfectly, so thank you very much for remembering that, Lyle.
Dude, Lyle just does that. We all know that Lyle just has the strangest memory.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah,
That is true.
what a great one. All right, guys, this brings us to the award for best defensive end of 2019, and the nominees
skip
are
this one.
The nominees are Chase Young from The Ohio State, AJ Panessa, Iowa, Quincy Roche, Temple,
Not him.
and Yetur Gross-Matos.
Yatur Gross
Yatur Gross-Matos.
It's not him either.
Gross Tomatoes from Penn State.
It's not that.
And the winner of the best defensive end of 2019 is... You've got to actually be kidding me.
No, come on.
Wow.
Wait, really?
No.
Chase Young with
Oh.
92% of the vote. So Chase Young, 92%.
92%.
Second place was Gross Matos.
He's a stud.
Gross Matos.
He's a
But yeah, guys, Chase Young.
Totes my goats.
Chase Young, quite the dominant player. This is no surprise. So why don't we just move on to the next award?
okay.
Whoopsie, got
Blake
it.
just for the first time in 4 years now, Blake just did not let us know who won any of the awards. So we are finding out like 10 seconds before we announce them.
That's the beauty of it. It's how actual award
If
shows
you really
are.
wanted to do this, you would have gotten custom printed envelopes for every single
I
winner.
tried
Can
doing
you
that
now
last year.
send the next 3? So now Brady knows who is going to win the DT. Can you now
You know
send
what?
Lyle?
I'm going to hold off on this until the drum roll and you guys are reading it, so it's like a true envelope unveiling.
What if it doesn't send?
I was gonna say-
Technical problems happen.
Well, technical problems happen, then we might have to get involved. But we'll just play it by ear one at a time. Brady?
Well,
He
you got
needs
to read the
who it
recipients.
is, Blake. Josh, go ahead, read this.
No, you're the one that's reading the award.
What?
You're
Are we
doing
still
best
that
defensive
messed
tackle.
up
Most
order?
organized award show in the country.
Not a group
I
of
gotta-
guys I would trust more to handle
The
an
best
award show, and we've
defensive
done it
tackle
4 years in a
of
row.
2019.
All right, the best defensive tackle of 2019-2020. Raekwon Davis from Alabama. Justin Matabuki from Texas A&M.
Well done, Brady.
Javon Kinlaw from South Carolina, the real U of SC. And Derek
fair.
Brown from Auburn. And let's see what Blake texted me. The winner of the best defensive tackle is Derek Brown from Auburn. Derek could not be here tonight, so I'll be accepting this award on his behalf.
That's fantastic.
War Eagle.
Derek Brown did one of those things last year that was kind of a bold move where he was essentially guaranteed to be like a top 15 pick or so, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to come back for another year. He stayed healthy. He enhanced his draft stock. He might be a top 10 pick this upcoming year. A very dominant season, 11.5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. He was just an absolute monster. So well-deserved, Derek. Well-deserved.
Congrats, D-Man.
All right, which brings us to the next award, the best linebacker.
Ooh, a good one. This is actually a really good award.
This is a good award, although we'll see.
I think
Best
think we shall.
linebacker of 2019. Kenneth Murray from Oklahoma. Curtis Weaver from Boise State. Hamilcar Rashed Jr. from Oregon State. Evan Weaver from Cal. And, I mean, he's basically everything, but we've listed him as a linebacker. Isaiah Simmons from Clemson. And the winner for Best Linebacker of 2019 goes to Isaiah Simmons of Clemson. Oh, Isaiah couldn't be here tonight? Oh, then I will accept his award on his behalf.
Now, going back to the last one, I forgot to mention Derek Brown received 65% of the vote. This one, a little more of a of a landslide. Simmons comes in with 70.5% of the vote. I mean, what a season from him. 104 tackles, 16.5 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 3 interceptions, 8 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles. Whew.
I mean,
That's a mouthful.
he's literally a linebacker, a safety, a corner, or whatever you want to put him at.
Yeah, we
He
should
does
put a
it
little
all.
asterisk next to his name. I think it's really
He's what
disappointing.
recruiters classify as an ATH. He's an athlete.
I think it's a little disappointing that,
Didn't know that 3 syllables. Athlete.
That's amazing. Josh?
I'm really disappointed that people probably didn't get to watch as much Evan Weaver as we did, because
True.
he was an absolute monster at Cal this year. And Cal obviously started 4-0 and was the number 13 team in the country for a week.
181 tackles.
Like, that's absurd.
That's absurd.
I voted for Evan Weaver.
So did I. I voted 3 times, like I said, and 2 of them were from Evan Weaver. One of them was for Simmons.
Simmons was just too good. Look, Evan Weaver was phenomenal.
That's like
but,
15 tackles a game.
No, I know.
That's
But
insane.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Simmons is just Simmons. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's going to be a top 5 pick.
And so now it's time for the next award. Is Blake introducing the award, or?
I guess not. Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, now
Thanks,
to
guys.
present the Best Cornerback Award, Josh Schaefer.
When I host next week, I'm not going to ask Blake any questions.
You're hosting next week?
There's 2 people here next week, Josh.
There's
That'll
no
be you and
show
I.
next week.
Oh.
Another no-show.
Oops. Okay, well then in 2 weeks. I got to get those
I'll
points
try to
down
make
for when
it.
I
My-
host.
my
Can you give me
flight-
one more? Give me one more point.
Got it.
Go. Okay.
Point to what?
Okay. Okay. The best cornerback of 2019. The nominees are Caleb Farley from Virginia Tech, Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU, Amik Robertson from Louisiana Tech, Jeffrey Okuda from the Ohio State University, and C.J. Henderson from Florida. And the winner is...
Good. Sorry.
Josh is also our in-house drummer.
Derek Stingley from LSU.
Now
This is the first one I have a problem with.
Oh, and let's hear it, Lyle. So he finishes with 47% of the vote. Okuda finishes with 37% of the vote, so just a 10% gap. The rest of these guys didn't really pull much, but it was essentially a two-man race. Lyle, let's hear why you have a problem with this.
If people are just voting off stats, guys, the reason Jeff Okuda's stats are worse than Stingley's is because he doesn't get thrown at because he's like the best cover corner in the last 10 years.
Well,
He's going to be a top 5 pick too, probably.
now, Lyle, did you vote in these awards?
I voted for Jeff Okuda.
Okay,
I did
well,
vote.
all right, then your point's valid.
At least we voted in this instead of like the pick'ems that we had to do every week for the ESPN poll, which I still haven't signed up for.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right. But overall, yeah.
Look,
I mean,
Stingley's really good. Don't get me wrong, but
and he's going to be incredible. But yeah, as you mentioned, some of these you can't really look at the stats necessarily because for a lot of the times, they just don't throw the ball their way.
yeah.
You hate to see it.
Yep.
All right, guys, but that does bring us to the Best Safety Award. And the nominees are Grant Delpit, LSU, Xavier McKinney, Alabama, Kayvon Wallace, Clemson, and Colby Harvell Peel, Oklahoma State.
Text yourself the winner.
And the winner
I was
for
gonna wonder if
Best
he was doing
Safety of 2019 is Grant Delpit, LSU. He finishes with just under 50% of the vote. Xavier McKinney, he was close, though, nearly 36% of the vote.
that. Another two-man race.
Another two-man race. Grant Delpit, what a season, though. He had 65 tackles, 2 interceptions, 7 pass deflections, a forced fumble. I mean, you can make the case for Xavier McKinney from Bama. He was excellent as well, but Grant Delpit, another one of those guys where he's likely going to be a top, well, now again, with looking at mock drafts, I've seen him all over the place. He was going to be a top 10 pick not too long ago. Who knows if he still will be. This guy's an absolute stud. He was, you can make the case, the leader on that LSU secondary, and he's now the winner of a Harris Highlights Award award.
You just love to see it.
And that means more.
I do. It just means more.
It just means more.
It just means more.
It just means a little bit
It
more
means
than it used to.
the most.
All right, guys.
Let's not push it.
Sorry, I pushed
All
it.
right, guys, which pushes us now, or kicks us over
There you go, thank
to
you.
the Best Kicker Award of 2019.
This is my favorite award. This is honorary. This is the only award we have named after somebody. We're calling this the
Zane Gonzalez Heisman, or
Best
Heisman-
Kicker
Heisman
Award.
Award.
The Zane Gonzalez
Heisman Award.
The Zane Gonzalez for Heisman Best Kicker Award, ladies and gentlemen. And the nominees for the first ever Zane Gonzalez for Heisman Best Kicker Award are Rodrigo Blankenship from Georgia.
Nice.
Rock the specs.
What happened to the music?
The music has been off since like the second award.
Oh,
Blake
It has.
Mazza from
Bring it back.
Washington. It's hard. Okay, fine. No, I have to cancel it every time
oh,
with all the
okay.
other sound effects.
That's all right. I'm gonna get some
Blake
water
Mazza
then.
from Washington State. Cade, dude, I need the winner. Cade York from LSU. Riley Patterson from Memphis, and Keith Duncan from Iowa. And the winner of the first ever Zane Gonzalez for Heisman Harris Highlights Kicker Award is Rodrigo Blankenship from the University of Georgia. This is the special trophy we have for him. It's very nice and big. It's the biggest trophy we give out all night. So, Rodrigo, congratulations. You have won the first ever Zane Gonzalez for Heisman Harris Highlights Award Best Kicker. Congratulations.
Good job, Rodrigo.
Good for you, Rodrigo.
Yes.
The fans love you, and we do too.
Now, I don't have the results from the previous years, but I feel like Rodrigo might have won this before. But then, who knows? I can't remember.
How do we not remember? Why didn't we write these down?
That's a good question. Who knows? Congrats. But overall, what
Can
a
we
great
just go
year.
back to last year's video and watch it, or
We
is that one taken
can't
down?
because that was the one that was taken down because we had a betting URL in the description.
Thanks,
Guys,
YouTube.
This overall was a very clear one. This is like a very evenly split piece of pie right here. Looking at this,
Wow.
Rodrigo Blankenship, he actually, I think, might set the record for lowest amount to win. 31% of the vote, and he comes up with the victory. Riley Patterson, 25%. Cade York, 22%. Blake Mazza, whatever, 14. Mazza, 14%. So this one, I mean, well, then again, I don't really know how you determine who the best kicker is. Do you look at how many field goals, their extra points, what their long was? So,
All right, look at that list. Who's the most notable name on that list?
well,
Rodrigo
it's probably going to
Blankenship.
be Rodrigo Blankenship, which does bring us now to the best punter of 2019.
And present it in the nominees for the Michael Dixon Best Punter of 2019 award.
No.
Go to
No.
the nominees. Max Duffy from Kentucky. Braden Mann from Texas A&M, Michael Turk from Arizona State, and Brandon Heiklin from San Diego State.
Let's go!
And the winner for the Michael Dixon Best Punter of 2019 goes to
I'll quit.
Max Duffy from Kentucky.
Hold on, wait. What?
Do we need a recount?
Well, his average per punt was the longest. He had the second longest kick on the list. I'll give him that.
He only punted 49 times. Of course his average is going to be high.
All right, Josh, make the case why Brandon Heiklin should have won this award.
All right. First of all,
Now, he did finish with 8% of the vote, which was by far the worst.
First
Who
of
came in
all,
second?
First of all, he like led the
Michael
country.
Turk.
First of all, he like led the country for punts inside the 20 for a while until
Ooh.
Michael Turk passed him at the end. But the what wasn't even because Brandon didn't win because he goes to San Diego State and people aren't gonna watch San Diego State, especially. I mean, we'll watch San Diego State because it's close and it's Mountain West, I guess. But I guess the East Coast won't. I'm just shocked that Michael Turk did not win. Michael Turk or Braden Mann. I'm actually stunned.
Well, this was a close one, so Duffy comes out with the win with 38% of the vote. Michael Turk got 33% of the vote, so it was another one that was close, came down to the final day. Braden Mann gets 20% of the vote. So again, this is one of those ones where I said it came down to the final day. There were some of these that were within 5%, and this one finished at 5%. So unfortunately, Michael Turk couldn't get the job done. I was hoping Heiklin could win so we could actually have him phone in to accept his award over the phone, but that's all right, which does bring us to the most surprising team of 2019.
Oh, that's me, huh?
That is?
Sorry, I was looking at Brandon's stats, and he had the fourth most punting yards in the country by a lot. Anyway, the next one. The most surprising team of 2019. The nominees are Baylor for going 11-3, Minnesota for going 11-2, Virginia for going 9-5, Memphis went 12-2, Tennessee went 8-5, and LSU went a mere 15-0. And the winner of the most surprising team award is really, actually, really, the Minnesota Golden Gophers at 11-2.
And this one, it was kind of close in a way. They get 40% of the vote. The next closest, LSU with 32% of the vote. Baylor comes in third with 20%, and then the other three were kind of not really, competitors at all.
I made a big push for between our group for LSU to be on this list because the beginning of the year, no one saw this coming. So I honestly thought it would have been LSU.
I did too. The only thing, though, is let's be real with ourselves because we probably thought LSU would win about 9 games this year. Did we think it was more realistic for LSU to go 15 and win the national championship, or for Minnesota to get into a New Year's Six? I would have said there's no way Minnesota gets into a New Year's Six.
Yeah, no, that's a really fair point. I just really thought that although we thought LSU was going to be good, I don't think anybody would have. I mean, this on our last show 2 weeks ago or whenever it was, we literally talked about whether or not LSU could be in the conversation for the best football team of all time.
No, yeah, that's true.
And coming into the year, I never would have said that they would have been in the conversation for that, let alone for the national championship. I thought they were going to be a good team, obviously. I did not think Joe Burrow was going to do what he did. No. I'm not taking that away from Minnesota. I think obviously Minnesota at 11-2 is bonkers heading into the season.
I mean, you can make the case for all 6. For LSU, you can make the case. Minnesota, you can make the case. Virginia, they made their first ever ACC title game. Baylor, what was it, 2 seasons ago? Won only 1 game. This year they won 11. Tennessee, they won their last 6 games or something like that. Crazy. They went on a winning streak to end the year. And then Memphis finishing the year at 12-2. So all those teams very deserving. But Minnesota, you're the most deserving. If someone's deserving, well, someone's undeserving, because we're going to talk about the most disappointing team of 2019. Now, this is the best award. This one has the most nominees because there are so many disappointments. We couldn't just narrow it down to 4 or 5 or 6. So there are 7 nominees. So the nominees for most disappointing team of 2019: Texas for finishing 8-5, Michigan for finishing 9-4, Northwestern for finishing 3-9. Washington finishing 8-5, Nebraska finishing 5-7, Michigan State finishing 7-6, and Texas A&M finishing 8-5. And the loser for the most disappointing team of the 2019 college football season is Texas. They are still not back. 2 years ago, guys, was it they win the Cotton Bowl? It looked like Texas was going to be back, and they're back to being mediocre at best. But all these teams, what a disappointing year across the board. The only one I would salvage on here might be A&M just because of how hard their schedule is. The rest, just true, utter disappointment.
And Northwestern is really one. Like, they were in the Big Ten title game last year, and then they go to 3-9. Like, that is a
Now,
tank.
Clayton Thorson, whatever
He
his
got hurt
name
in the
was.
first game.
Yeah.
Now, I get, he leads you to the Big Ten title game the year before. Are you telling me he was that much of a difference maker?
I think he was. I thought he was a good quarterback, though. But 3-9 is pretty crazy. And I think it's worth pointing out that Michigan at 9-4, I think, is a legitimate disappointing team. I don't think 9 wins and 4 losses is a good season whatsoever for a team like Michigan, for a team that Blake and I at the beginning of the year had in the college football playoff. And then we also, at least I did. I said this is the year for Nebraska to win the division, maybe. They were 5-7.
And then with Michigan again not beating your rivals, they got ran out of the building again by Ohio State.
But think about. Just a quick comparison. Last year, you guys remember when I said that Northwestern was going to make the Big Ten title game? This year, I said Virginia was going to make the ACC title game. I also said that Nebraska and Michigan were going to make the Big Ten title game.
Yeah, same here.
Oops. My bad.
Gonna throw up. All right, Brady, we're gonna throw it over to you though for the biggest upset of 2019.
Well, the biggest upset of 2019 was a really fun category. I think we did the betting spread?
We did, yes.
Bets, so the largest ones there. So it was Arizona State plus 14.5 over Oregon. Oregon, that's how you say the state and the school is Oregon. South Carolina plus 25.5 over Georgia. Kansas State plus 23.5 over the Oklahoma Sooners. The Citadel, the good old Citadel, plus 27.5 over Georgia Tech. A big win for the Citadel. And Illinois plus 30.5 over, as Josh said, Wisco. Was it Wisco?
Scotty.
Yeah, I didn't realize people called it Wisco, but apparently in hockey they call it Wisco.
Wisconsin, we'll call it here. And the winner
On it, Scotty.
of the biggest upset is...
Sorry, I was gonna text this to my dad and uncle. 1 sec.
Oh my god.
You're killing the suspense on your own show here, Blake.
I'm about to run out of time.
Illinois over Scotty. Illinois with the big winner.
Now, at the time, it seemed like such a much bigger upset than what it was, but Illinois turned out to be somewhat relevant this year. This was a photo finish, guys. Illinois, over Wisconsin, they finished 36.5%. The next closest was South Carolina over Georgia, 34%. So the difference was 2.5%. Yes, hand signals. So some good upsets, but overall, looking back at this, I might give the edge to South Carolina personally just because of how bad they finished the season since Georgia, how great of a team they were. But again, a bunch of great upsets. We saw one of these upsets in person. It was fantastic. And, yeah.
I put it into iTunes and I hit repeat and it wouldn't play repeat. So
All right, but that does bring us to the best single game performance of 2019, Lyle.
Best single game performance of the season. No Joe Burrow games on this list. A heads up for the viewers. The nominees.
Because it's regular season.
Yeah.
Regular
it is,
season.
It is. Devontae Smith versus Ole Miss. 11 grabs, 274 yards, 5 scores. Jarrett Patterson versus Bowling Green. 298 rushing yards and 6 touchdowns. Friend of the show, Jarrett Patterson. Tyler Snead versus Southern Methodist. 19 catches, 240 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor versus Kent State, 186 rushing yards. That was 9.8 yards per carry, along with 4 rushing touchdowns, 3 catches for 29 yards, along with a receiving touchdown, so 5 touchdowns on the day, over 200 total yards. Chase Young versus Wisconsin, 6 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. God, he was an animal in that game. And finally, Anthony Gordon versus UCLA, 570 passing yards, 9 touchdowns. And the winner for best single game performance of 2019 goes to Chase Young versus Wisconsin.
What a shock, guys. I mean, this must be our first ever defensive best performance of the year, but I mean, this was, as Lyle said, 6 tackles, with 5 of them being tackles for loss, 4 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. He ranks in 40% of the vote. Anthony Gordon comes in second with 27%. Are you guys surprised that a defensive performance won the best single game performance of the year?
I am. I don't think you can go wrong with any of them. I definitely thought. I mean, I'm happy to hear that Anthony Gordon finished second, because I think that 570 passing yards and 9 touchdowns is just unreal. I thought that friend of the program, Jared Patterson, was going to make a push too. But I think it is a little surprising to see Chase Young win, but ultimately I don't think you can go wrong anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys had such good games. I remember that Devontae Smith game versus Ole Miss. I feel like he was, like, unconscious that day. But, yeah, Chase Young, I mean, I remember, like, he looked so good early on, and it got to the point in that game where I just started looking at him on defense every single play. And every single play, it just felt like he was abusing a Wisconsin O-line that is usually pretty good, and just had, like, the day of his life.
One of the things for me in this award was it was down for me between the Anthony Gordon or Chase Young. Obviously, you're going to have a guy like Chase Young who's sort of a once-in-a-generation type player, so you kind of have to go with him. But I remember we were at an ASU football game. I don't know who was calling it or was on the game it was.
Yeah, that was UCLA weekend.
Was it? So I remember. No, it was.
Yeah,
it was a home game. It was a home game.
For Chase Young?
No, for the Anthony Gordon game.
Yeah, that was, I think, after Colorado.
So I remember walking back up into the press box and looking at the TV and seeing this game on and thinking, this must be a 6 overtime game. That was all in regulation. Mm-hmm. So that's where I would have pushed for the Anthony Gordon thing there, but you can't go wrong with Chase Young.
Which brings us now to the best regular season game of 2019.
Yeah, we had a couple of really, really fun games this year, guys. And unfortunately, not all of them made the list. But these 5 were the top 5 football games of the year, as chosen by us. The first nominee, the mighty Bruins comeback win over Washington State. Can you believe Anthony Gordon lost that game? Anthony Gordon lost that game at home. Anyway, the next one, mighty Bo Nix beating mighty Oregon. I've said mighty 3 times now. Mighty Texas being not so mighty, losing to LSU. We've got still mighty at 15-0 LSU beating Alabama. And then we see not so mighty Nick Saban should be fired, losing to Auburn in the Auburn-Alabama Iron Bowl. And the winner of the best regular season game of 2019 is LSU over Alabama. Mighty LSU. Go Tigers.
The fact that Alabama almost came back, made this a game, and almost got the victory was something. But yeah, how about Alabama being featured in the 2 best games of the year? That Auburn-Alabama game was good as well. But yeah, LSU-Bama, what a difference compared to that one from nearly a decade ago when it was like, 6-3, 9-6, something like that. But what an overall great game. Speaking of great games, best bowl game of 2019, the nominees are the Fiesta Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Hawaii Bowl,
say who played,
the Orange Bowl, that's all good, the Cotton Bowl, and the National Championship. And the winner for best bowl game of 2019 is the Fiesta Bowl with a nice 55%. There were some decent, okay bowl games this year, guys, but the Fiesta Bowl, that could be the national championship in itself. Overall, it was an incredible game, an exciting game, and maybe one team kind of got screwed and shafted just a bit, but hey, that's okay. It happens.
It does.
It just happens.
It do be like that sometimes.
It do be like that.
All right, now to talk about the best bowl game performance of 2019 is our executive producer.
Oh no, I hit one too many. Someone else read it. I hit one too many slides before.
Best bowl game performance of 2019. Tyler Johnson versus Auburn, 12 catches, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow versus Clemson in the Natty, 463 yards, 6 touchdowns. Joe Burrow versus Oklahoma in the semifinal, 493 yards, 8 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson versus Oklahoma, 14 catches, 227 yards, 4 scores. Lynn Bowden versus Virginia Tech, 233 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. And Jamar Chase versus Clemson in the national championship, 9 catches, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the winner for best bowl game performance of 2019 goes to
Drum roll.
Joe Burrow versus Oklahoma, 8 touchdowns, just under 500 yards.
So Joe Burrow comes in first place and second place in this one. His Oklahoma performance, 493 yards, 8 total touchdowns, 57% of the vote. Then his next performance against Clemson in the national championship, he gets 21% of the vote. Probably the best 2-game championship stretch we'll ever see in college football, at least for the next few decades. I can't see someone topping that. I mean, 14 total touchdowns in, 1,000 yards or so total? I mean... It wasn't a question of, who was going to win. It was just a matter of which Joe Burrow performance people thought would be a little better. But overall, what an absolute unit. That's right? Unit?
Wagon.
That's right. Wagon he
Rock
was.
me, mama.
Now, we had best play, but for that one, we just had you guys all write down what you thought the best play was. There's hundreds of plays to go through, but we appreciate everyone giving us your best play, which brings us...
So thanks for voting. We're not going to read them, I guess.
Freshman, Brady, are you ready
I
for
got
freshman of the year?
For Freshman of the Year, we have the great Bo Nix from
Yes.
Auburn. Kayvon Thibodeau, a defensive stud at Oregon. Keaton Slovis, the unsung hero that USC needed.
Yes.
Sam Howell from North Carolina. And Derek Stingley Jr., the defensive mastermind at LSU. And the winner of the best Freshman of the Year is... Derek Stingley Jr. from LSU.
He gets 51% of the votes. Guys, I put Bo Nixon here just as a joke. He barely just missed getting the second most votes behind Sam Howell. He missed him by 18 votes.
That's like you should all be ashamed of
Over
yourselves.
Slovis and Thibodeau, guys. Come on, watch the Pac-12.
Slovis,
That is an insult to
Slovis
Pac-12
finishes
football.
with a nice 5.9% of the vote.
That's
The
actually
absolute worst.
unbelievable.
Also, how
overall-
did we not put Jaden on this list?
Well,
Yeah,
that's-
over
I voted
that
for
was the
Jaden.
Again, I put Bo Nix as a joke. I didn't think he'd get, 16% of the vote.
like actually, that's insane.
Which
That's like
brings-
actually insane.
A lot of great freshmen, which brings us to the Coach of the Year. Brady, do you want to do this Coach of the Year
I'll
one
do
as
this
well?
one so we can catch back up.
Yes.
We're just skipping me now.
We'll let
Come
you do the-
on, we
we'll
know
let you-
who it's going to be.
We'll let you do the final one. Or do we, Lyle?
For the
do
Coach
we?
of the Year,
Do we?
have Matt Rahul from Baylor, Ryan Day from The Ohio State, Dabo Sweeney from Clemson. Swinley. Mike Norvell from Memphis, PJ Fleck from Minnesota, and Ed Orgeron from LSU. And the winner of Coach of the Year goes to, I'm not even going to look at my text from Blake. I'm just going to guess what it is, because Blake hasn't even sent it.
Be confident, Brady.
I am confident.
Hey guys, thank you. We love you, man. Go Tigers.
It's Coach O, baby.
Yeah, it's Coach O.
Blake
I
sent
was-
me Dabo as soon as I played Coach O.
Yeah,
apparently.
Coach O gets 56% of the vote. Coming in second place was actually Ryan Day.
Hey guys, thank you. We love you, man. Go
Going right there. PJ Fleck comes in third. Matt Rule comes in fourth. A lot of great coaches this upcoming year, but yeah, I mean, when you go undefeated and win the national championship, it's kind of hard to go against that. 2 awards left, guys. Josh, you can do the next one.
So the nominees for Offensive Player of the Year are Justin Fields from Ohio State, Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin, Joe Burrow from LSU, Jalen Hurts from Oklahoma, and Jamar Chase from LSU.
Every single one of their first names starts with J.
What?
True, and my name's Josh.
Whoa, my name's Blake.
My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin. The winner of... Brady got that. The winner of Offensive Player of the Year is... No drum roll. Brady's not paying attention. Can you actually send it? Like, I think I know who it is, but like...
Blake,
You know who it
can-
is.
well, yeah, but I'm not going to say the wrong thank you. It's Joe Burrow.
Blake said, "Lol, I wonder who."
Well, I know, but like...
No. I'm just telling the viewers what Blake said. He said, "Lol, I wonder who" in the text.
He's also now texting me things that I cannot read on radio.
Well done, Joe Burrow. Well done. But yeah, I mean, no question. Justin Fields comes in second place in this one. So way to go. Way to go there, Joe Burrow. Multiple awards for him tonight, which brings us to the final award of the evening, the Best Defensive Player of the Year. The nominees are Jeff Okuda, Grant Delpit, Isaiah Simmons, and Chase Young. And the winner of the Defensive Player of the Year is Chase Young with a nice 76%. Going back to the last one, Joe Burrow got 79%, so heavy favorites in that one. But guys, yeah, that wraps up our awards portion of the show. So for the next 10 minutes, the final, not award, but the final question on the survey was for you to pretty much go and tell us what you love about the show, what you've enjoyed from the show, things you'd like to see in the show. A lot of great ideas, guys. A lot of great ideas that people had for the upcoming season. But I thought, you know what? Instead of reading what ideas they had, I'd go over and read all the memories and the fun things people had to say about us. So for 10 minutes, let's talk about the great things. Now, unfortunately, there are no names with these, so I can't say the name of the person that said this, but if you're out there, you're listening, you're watching, and you said one of these nice things, thank you very much.
Are there any mean ones? Because you should read
there were
those
some
too.
really mean ones. There are some offensive ones. There are some where I think the government should be investigating some that are on there.
Read them.
All right, guys, let's get these underway. How y'all made me laugh, learn, and become an ASU football fan. I love you guys like a family.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, how about that?
Do you want to lend me money?
I've always loved the Pick'ems part of the show the best because we got to see who you guys have winning. The Rivalry Week was always the best show in my opinion. I loved listening and watching you guys because I love sports. Sports. We like sports and we don't care who knows. And college football is one of my favorite. I like you guys did fantasy football and shared that on the show. You guys did March Madness groups, pick-em groups, which I was a part of some of them. I like the season preview episodes and seeing your guys' opinions on the upcoming years. I'm going to go back to the end of the year and look at all the teams that have surprised us and all the upsets that have happened. In the end, I love all you guys. Blake, Josh, Brady, and Lyle, spelled A-L-I-A-L. It says, sorry if I misspelled it. You guys made this podcast really interesting, and I'm glad I continued to watch it since it started. Thank you, guys. This next one does have a name. I've enjoyed the journey of everyone growing up throughout the show and learning more and more, having my opinion heard and been able to participate with y'all through Twitter and other forums. Also, segment ideas, mascot fights and whatnot, and Kicker of the Year snubs and whatnot. He has a Kicker of the Year snub, which actually was Nick Skiba from Wake Forest, who has the NCAA record for most consecutive field goals, and is 97 of 97 with the PAT. Sincerely, Captain Rob.
Captain Rob.
Thank you,
This
Captain
goes
Rob.
out to you, Captain Rob.
I'd also like to give a shout out to Richard Nixon. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Yeah, whatever
Hope you're
happened to
doing well.
Richard Nixon? My gosh.
Richard, you walked away and got on that helicopter, and we have not heard from you since, so let's go.
This next guy wanted to share some of his favorite moments from the show. You don't have to play the sad music anymore. This is happy time. He said his favorite moments are Lyle making Josh spit out his water.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good. Oh no, that was almost deja vu all over
Brady's
again.
poem.
Oh, yes.
And the sound bites of Lyle going off on Virginia basketball, only to have them win it all.
That was a good one.
Also,
wasn't it?
Blake's bold predictions that were wrong 99% of the time. And last but not least, that sweet pick-a music. As the pick-a music then just proceeds to go off. Thanks for a great 4 years. It's been fun. I wish you all the best of luck on your future endeavors. Hashtag mock the world.
Yes.
This next one, I loved the expression Ohio State is a wagon. I'll forever keep it with me. Shout out to Demarius. And then he goes on to, pronunciate it, marry us.
Because he's listened and knows you can't say a common name correctly.
That's true.
I love it.
That's a true fan of the show.
I just enjoy hearing a fresh take on college football by actual college students. Like the show, hope to see y'all and other things in the coming years. Best of luck. I'm a U.S. Army active duty. I needed these the most so I wouldn't miss home and needed something to keep my mind calm. How about that? There you go. The energy, the charisma you guys bring to the show, especially in the debate-based segments, has kept the podcast stable in my listening during the college football season. Sad to see the show go. We still have a few more months. Don't worry, anonymous person. Just the overall passion y'all had and the Harris Highlights community had together, and my favorite memories of the show, getting home from school and waiting for the next show to come out.
I wonder what grade they're in.
I love just seeing a group of friends talking about college football. It made me so happy. I don't think it gets much better than that.
Friends?
I would like to have you do your own NCAA football playoff by playing each other on the PS3, on the PS4 or Xbox 360.
Yep.
My favorite memories from this goes all the way back. It'd be the pick'ems and y'all joking around. It sounds like you guys are just drinking beers at a bar or something, having a good time. I love college football as well with other college sports, and it's always refreshing to see what hot takes others have to give. One of my this is a good one. One of my favorite moments was earlier this year when the Buffs managed to beat ASU and Tempe, and Josh had no idea who Tony Brown was. Now Tony Brown is going to the NFL, and if I had to guess, he'll probably be drafted. I've kept listening not just because no one else really talks about college football each week of the season, but because of the synergy between you guys. Great work.
Dude, who is Tony Brown, dude? Honestly.
Yeah,
Who is Tony
I
Brown?
think he legit had like 2 additional touchdowns the rest of the year after that.
That's insane.
Yeah, not great.
Looking ahead to next college football season, as well as talking about college basketball and March Madness, some of my favorite memories from the show have definitely been from callers from Andrew to Peter Warren from Northwestern. I continue to listen because I feel like you guys all have good, interesting takes, and you all know your facts.
Except for me.
Here we go. My favorite memory is when Josh gave his pitch for the Southern Illinois.
Yes,
what was
that's
it,
my favorite
Salukis?
moment.
The Salukis.
Yep.
What made me continue to listen is that it is refreshing to see a group of friends simply talk college football for hours at a time. Continue your greatness. This next one, I just want Lyle to know that I appreciate his knowledge on my Washington Huskies, and I'm sorry that we both go through the pain of the Mariners together.
That's true.
Is that who was our one listener from Washington? Steve?
Steve from Washington. So maybe that's Steve from Washington. I loved every part of each show, and sometimes I would go back and rewatch previous episodes just to see how wrong some of your guys' predictions were.
Mostly Blake's.
Like Lyle's sleeper pick for Heisman in season 3 being Rodney Anderson.
Haha, finally wasn't mine.
Come on. Wait, what did Brady say?
He said, "Ha! Finally wasn't mine."
Come on, he was really good. He just got hurt in the second week.
Love the show. The passion and enthusiasm for college football is excitingly entertaining, whether it's the honest analysis of games, teams, I don't know what's going on here, fun segments like all-time fantasy matchups and mascot debates, or hearing you guys just bust each other's chops. The Harris Highlight
Mostly
Show
Blake's.
has been a great precursor to each week of college football for several seasons. Josh rolling into Blake's camera shot at the end of the show was funny and now
We're
a
not done
classic.
yet.
Someone
Way to
caught
sign
it.
off. Maybe in the last episode, everyone rolls into Blake's shot for the final sign-off. Hey guys, thank you. We love you, man. Go Tigers. Fear the fork. Don't sleep on Chattanooga. Mock the world.
Yes.
What a great one.
Yes.
And our final comment that I'll read, it just simply says, just go out with a bang!
Would have been better if you were holding a bang.
Oh, sorry. I apologize to everyone that was listening. I apologize.
Even the interns are on bang.
Oh, man.
I drink bang, you drink bang.
I'm
All right,
Bill.
I'm Bill. So that does wrap up the fourth and final Harris Highlights Award Show. This was probably, although it's our 4th year doing it, this is probably our most,
Out of sync.
the one we struggled with the most for whatever. I don't know why we all struggled so
For the
much.
first time in our show's history, I think
So-
Blake just forgot to introduce himself and everyone.
I didn't
I'm
introduce
Brady
myself.
Quinn.
I'm Josh.
So we're going
I'm
to
wearing a
send
pink
out
tie.
these awards to all the winners. They'll be getting in the mail. So all the players that receive the award, congratulations. You'll be getting these, as I mentioned, in 16 to 20 weeks, something like that. So you'll be getting it within about 5 months or so. Sorry, I had to burp.
What a
Man,
show.
great show, guys. A great show. Unfortunately, no show next week. I'm going to be back home in Los Angeles yet again. I'm going to be at the Clippers game. Brady's going to be at the NFL Draft Combine. Josh and Lyle, they'll be here. You guys can do a show if you'd like.
Dude, we will. We'll do a college baseball show.
We'll do a
if
college
you like
baseball
college
show.
baseball, you're going to tune in to the Josh and Lyle college baseball
Hey,
highlight show.
Shout out to Blake for stealing someone else's video and getting 5 million views on Twitter.
Actually,
what was that?
I think it's got like 8 million now.
It was 5 million 2 hours ago.
Yeah, you love to see it. But for Josh Schaefer, Lyle Goldstein, Brady Klain, our 2 interns, this has been Blake Harris from the Bill Austin Radio Studio at the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism in beautiful downtown Phoenix. And we will see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing night. That's a pretty good award. Oh.